Hello and welcome to another quick video on writing craft and philosophy. My name is Audrey Kalman, and before I get started, I wanted to address a question that I got from one of my writing friends who thought that these monthly videos were only for people enrolled in the Birth Your Truest story workshop that Jennifer Brody and I are offering. Now, even though I'm loosely basing these on some of our class topics and I'm using birth as a metaphor for the writing process, really any writer can benefit from them, whether you're part of the workshop or not. Or even if you aren't a writer at all, you may get something out of them. So I encourage you to share them far and wide. This month, I want to talk about surrender. This is something that I bring up a lot when I work with women as they prepare to give birth. Now, the idea of surrender can be really scary, especially for those of us who feel most comfortable when we're in control. I get it. I have more than a little type A in me. But interestingly, when I was giving birth, that was one of the few times that I gave myself permission to surrender. Now, maybe it was because giving birth felt so monumental, so obviously outside of the everyday, that I had no choice. And I have never forgotten that huge relief that I felt when the burden of needing to be in control was lifted. So since then, I've played a lot with the idea of giving myself permission to surrender in other areas of my life, particularly in writing. And recently, that has led me to accepting the kind of writer that I am, surrendering to my creative disposition without trying to change it. Last year, I started writing another novel. Now, my usual process is to begin with an image, a question, a what if, just a small kernel of an idea, and then start to write. And I figure out where I'm going as I'm going there. The problem is this often ends up in me throwing away a lot of what I've written. And over the years, I felt guilty about this approach, especially when I'm in the presence of writers who seem to know their endings before they begin. So this time I thought I'm going to do it differently. I decided to start writing using the Story Genius method developed by Lisa Cron. I was a little skeptical at first, but I like the way she encourages scene writing as part of the process from the very beginning, and it felt like something that I could do. Then, about a third of the way into my first draft, the method stopped working for me. I didn't know where the book was going, and despite its promises, Story Genius was not exactly helping me figure that out. I guess I'm a story dummy, not a story genius. Then, at a recent workshop I attended, I heard a well-known writer talk about her process, which sounded a lot like mine. And she described how it often involves creating lots of scenes, polishing the scenes, and later tossing them because they don't work. Aha! That sounds just like the kind of writer I am. And you know what? It works for me. So you can apply this idea of surrender in so many other ways to writing. You can apply it to letting go of judgment and giving yourself permission to write that shitty first draft. You can surrender to the story, to letting it be what it wants to be, rather than forcing it to conform to your preconceived ideas of what it should be. You can surrender to where you are in your process. You can surrender your notions of what the end will look like, or even when the end will come. So this month, as you continue writing, I hope you'll look for places where you can surrender. You may be really surprised at how the burden lifts from you when you do. Thank you so much, and don't forget to look below for some links. See you next month.